Hello, everybody. Markets are bleeding, interest rates went up, and we have somebody speaking FUD about crypto. Who is that person? Let's watch it. Welcome, everybody. Darwin Fortuna here, Fortuna Flow. Before I go through all the news and all the shenanigans of the day, I wanted to talk to you about this very simple concept, the concept of trend. And I had already spoken about this on a sort of session, like a educational session, educational class. And by the way, everything here is for entertainment and educational purposes, never financial advice. But I did want to talk about it again. I did want to zoom into it, okay? So that we understand where we are today and look at the markets on a new way, on a new light, okay? So there's three phases. There is accumulation, public participation, and distribution. Those are the three phases of a trend. When do you want to buy? When do you want to be all hot in the market? In the accumulation phase. The accumulation phase is when the previous trend was down, when most of the astute investors recognize that the market has assimilated all the bad news, when the news are horrible, the worst news ever, that's when the most astute and smart, they call it smart money investors, buy. They buy when no one else wanted to buy, and they distribute before everybody else starts selling. With that said, where do you think we are right now? What phase do you think we are right now? Was it 69,000 that we were at the accumulation phase? Was it 50,000 that we were at the accumulation phase? Or do you think that 18 to 19,000 on Bitcoin, I'm talking, it sounds like a good accumulation phase? All right, let's take a look at the markets now. That said, I want you to look at the markets with that filter only. I know it's hard, I know it's painful, but I want you to look at the markets that way. So let's go through things real quick. Markets are down. In fact, we have lost over $20 billion of market share. Remember, we were close to $1 trillion. We are way below. In fact, we've lost about $11 billion worth of volume, of value through the market. Everything is red. Why? Simple. Because inflation is at 8.3, which is much too high, according to Jerome Powell. And today we had the Fed meeting. So they decided to increase interest rates by 0.75%. And you would say, well, Darwin, weren't we expecting that to happen? Yeah, we were expecting that to happen. And in fact, that would have been the most bullish scenario, right? 0.5% was not going to cut it. And 100 basis points or 1% would have destroyed the market. They increased it by 0.75%. And that puts us right now at 3.25% interest. Okay? That's what it puts us right now. That should have been a bullish scenario. But markets do not react to things the way that you and I want it to. Right? It's smart money doesn't act that way. Smart money wants to shake you, destroy you, make you throw the towel and say, it's over. I'm not dealing with this anymore. That's how it works. To create more panic sale, to create more deals for themselves, right? So smart money, that's what smart money does. That's really what it does. Okay? So as you see, interest rates are up by 3.25%. Inflation is much too high, so they want to tame it down, and they want to be at the 4% or so, which is the highest we've had in a while. In fact, let me see if I can get more. In fact, we are really high right now in comparison with the last 5 years. So let's go to the 10-year. We are really high, right? But regarding the 25-year, we still have room to go. We still have a lot of room to go. And that's what they're looking at, and that's what they're hoping to do. Now, guys, in the long term, and I'm not like supporting Jerome Powell, and I'm not supporting the Fed. In the long term, I agree. Inflation is much too high, and it's not good for anybody that we have our checks being diminished every day by 8.3%. So while the employment is high, and while our economy is pretty strong, why not increase interest rates now? And I think they're doing the right thing. Historically, for all of you, when interest rates go up, at the very beginning, the markets react in a negative way. And then shortly thereafter, the markets start reacting on a positive way. So we are getting there. I would say we're almost halfway there. We're almost halfway there. Okay, so they want interest rates next year above the 4. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there by the middle of next year. And there is a very strong correlation. I was reading earlier that like at some point interest rates will probably be at 4.5, and inflation will probably be at 4.5, and they will kind of, because they have an inverse relationship to each other, so they will start kind of touching up, and then inflation is gonna go back down to the 2% that they want. Jerome Powell, was very honest today. Was very honest about the fact that the housing market needs to continue to go down a little more. Prices, people were buying houses 10%, $10,000, $20,000 above asking price. That's way too much, and we have to make it affordable. Because the ones that suffer the most are those at the bottom, those that do not make as much money as those, on the higher end of the spectrum. So I agree. Now, I was looking at another chart, right? And I wish I had it with me right here. I probably could be able to pull it up. But the other chart was showing markets' reactions after a couple days after Fed's meetings. What was the market's reaction after? So immediately after, it was always negative. Always pretty negative. The day off was pretty much always negative. But after a little while, after a couple of days, they always rebounded back. Always rebounded back. So I'm gonna try to pull up that real quick for you guys. I'm always trying to give you and show you where I get my information, but also give you the best I could possibly give you, and there's some amazing historical patterns regarding what happens in the markets. Sorry about that, guys. I just really want to show you this, because that will give you a little perspective on what to expect, what you think is gonna happen, what you think is gonna come. All right. It's really interesting that typically the markets react on a positive way shortly after we get our inflation or interest rates meetings. Okay, let me see where I have that. Sorry about that, guys. And why do you think that is? Well, because again, they're very emotional. All the sellers, all the retail, they get very emotional. They don't really understand what the news are. They don't really understand what it means. They don't really understand those things, and because of that, then they start reacting in a very negative way. Okay, so on that note, we do want to make sure that we use that for a benefit. Okay, that we use that for a benefit. That we all say, hey, listen, things are going to be fine. Typically, after interest rates go up, the same day we are negative, but couple days after, we become very, very bullish and very positive. So let's use that as inspiration, encouragement, words of encouragement, I would say. Okay. So, and again, I do not have to hide it. The markets do not look so great. Okay, Markets do not look any good right now. Okay. And remembering what I just told you earlier, remembering that typically the markets react very, very, very bearish when the interest rates are going up, and listening to Jerome Powell, and they don't really know what to understand, what to expect. I watched the whole thing, and Jerome Powell didn't say anything that I would have not been expecting. Interest rates went up by 0.75%. Inflation is 8.3. That's much too high. The economy can handle it. Why do it later? Why not do it now? Why wait for later when we can do it now? Right? And this to me is beautiful, and we have to start training our brains that red means buy. Now, I'm not telling you when to buy and sell, but I'm just telling myself that when I see these, it doesn't mean panic sell. And I've been having a hard time training my brain to do that because it's really hard. Red is bad. It's scary, right? But, when the news are so horrible, when the news are just, oh my gosh, this is horrible, you have to take that into account as an opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity. All right? So, and again, I'm trying to find that little chart that I mentioned to you regarding, the reaction of the market over time, and how after interest rates go up, we become very, very positive a couple of days after. Okay, I do want to get that to you. Maybe I'll find it later. If I find it later, I'll put it on the comments. Okay. So but ideally we all prepare for that. We all ensure to act on a positive note. Listen, let's go to the chart. This is bargain prices. Again, I'm on the daily, which is something I don't really use. I typically just use the 45-minute. But I want to show you why I'm okay with all of this. I'm pretty okay with all of this, okay? I'm pretty okay because I have predicted that we had already bottomed at about 17,000 with Bitcoin. And we need to form a base. And we've been forming a very beautiful base. All right. If you see a parabolic move, it's just horrible, right? It's just not the way to go. So I do not want a parabolic move right away. I do not want to then be sell off again and then go lower. No. This is very positive. Okay. So yeah, it caught a lot of us not ready, right? We don't have a unlimited account to be buying every time it goes down, buying. But hey, remember what I showed you at the very beginning. This is the accumulation phase, okay? So, and people always say, well, when in doubt, just zoom out. Actually, that sounds really good. When in doubt, just zoom out, okay? So, do you wanna be buying here? Heck no. You want to buy here? Heck no. So what does this look like to you? That looks like a really good opportunity. That reminds me, somebody told me that there were houses back in 2008 in Florida being sold for like $10,000, $15,000, $8,000. And you're like, what? That's incredible. But nobody wanted to buy. Nobody wanted to buy. And today, that's a great opportunity. That's a great time. That's a great, nobody was bold enough to do it. So now we have a very, very great chance right now, a very, very awesome opportunity to pick up things on a very good price. This is a tremendous price. This is golden right here. And in fact, this is one of the 3 or 4 best buying opportunities for Bitcoin's in Bitcoin's entire history. It's called the golden zone. That's what you want to buy. All right. So looking throughout everything, I'll tell you which coins have been holding up very good. Solana has been holding very strong. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. I mean, most coins have been forming even lower lows almost, right? So, but Solana stayed on that $30. It's been fighting it, right? So the market's rebounded. By the way, there was manipulation today, of course. They rallied all the way up, several percentages, and then immediately went right back down. But we're nowhere near, like, this is not, in my opinion, this is not any worse than what we've already been. Right? Like, you're like, oh my gosh. Well, Solana's been on this range for quite some time now. So it's nothing new. Like, look, we're not even lower than what we were a couple of days ago. Okay? So, again, remember, markets typically react very negative in a negative way, negatively, to the news of the Fed's increasing interest rates. But the Feds have been transparent. They have not been telling you they're going to do Y and do Z. They've been saying we have to increase interest rates. We have to do these now. We do not want inflation to be engraved in people's mindset so that they always think, well, I'm going to buy a house. Inflation is 10%. I'm going to, they don't want you to think like that. They want to say, let's get it down to 2%. When we get inflation at 2%, we typically get a 10-year time of prosperity. Do we want a it's 1/4%, 0.5%, and then 10 years of turmoils? No, we want 10 years of prosperity. So to get that, we have to do this. All right. So overall, everything is red. S&P is red by 66 points or 1.75% or so. Dow is red. Gold's the only thing that's green, and Russell. Actually, not even Russell is red. Gold is the only thing that's green right now. Silver is kind of green right now, slightly. What else we have? Bitcoin is red. I heard that they said that the dollar is still strong, which is true. The dollar is very strong, right? And now they're already pricing in what's going to happen. So they're actually pricing in 0.75% increase instead of 0.5% increase. Okay. So they're already pricing in that, which it makes sense. So they expect that we're going to go to 400 basis points, 400 on the interest rate, so 4%, because where are we right now? We are at 3.25. So we need to get to 4. We're gonna be needing 0.75% or so. So that's what they're expecting. 3.25 is where we are. 0.75% will put us all the way up to 4% interest rates. And that's what they're expecting. That's what they're pricing in already. And that's great. The market's pricing that in now. So that's why, no news when the next Fed meeting happens, which is set to happen. When is it? When the next Fed meeting happens, you will not have, I think it's November, we will not have to be worried about it. We will not have to be worried about it. They have one in October. Actually, they release the minutes in October, and I think the next Fed meeting is in November. So, we won't have a lot of bad news. Now, a couple of things that we need to think about in the macro sort of picture, right? So there's turmoil going on in Russia right now. So, and in Ukraine. But also we do have midterm elections. Do you think that they're going to continue to, increase interest rates in a very bullish way, in a very hawkish, way? I don't know. I think they're going to have to take it easy for November, right? November elections are coming in. They don't want to be biased towards one party. So I think that may weigh into it a little bit, okay? So overall, that's what's happening. But I did want to talk to you about something pretty interesting. This person right here, which is the executive director of JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the United States, says that crypto tokens are decentralized Ponzi schemes. All right, so who doesn't like crypto? Banks. Banks don't like crypto. But at the same time, this is so interesting. His name is Jamie Dimon. But at the same time, look at what he's doing behind our back. Look at what he's doing behind our back, okay?
The first cryptocurrency
so he
by
is
a major US
actually
bank
they have a cryptocurrency group.
The JPM.
They have a cryptocurrency team, and they're creating a JP Morgan coin. So they're a scam, but I'm going to do a coin too. I'm going to make a coin too. Ridiculous. All right. So they're making a coin themselves. And they have a whole cryptocurrency team working with them. All right. So that just tells you, don't believe what they say. Just watch what they do. Don't believe what they say. Watch what they do. All right. So overall, like I said, this is a great opportunity right now. I'm going to load up as much as I can. You don't have to do that. I don't want you to follow my lead. I'm not leading you. No financial advice. I'm going to, again, Septembers are typically red. So what would you expect? They've always been mostly reds. So let's actually immediately show it. So September's are typically very red on Bitcoin on the daily. So 2022, these are the different months. So September is, again, and this is actually the daily on September, but it's not the monthly. I want to show the monthly. So let me show you the monthly. September, look at that. It's only had 2 greens out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 out of 10 have been green. So what would you expect? Is this time different? Is this time different? Do you think it's different? All right. But on the contrary, October's eye flip. So we're more than halfway through September, guys. Let's stick around and look. October's are typically actually 2 out of 10 are red. So what do you guys think is gonna happen? Is this time different? You think we're gonna have a bullish October? Overall, I'm just trying to tell you what I see. Have I been affected by all this sale pressure? Yeah, everybody has. But at the same time, we have things on sale right now. All these coins are on sale right now. So like, why be upset about that? These coins are on sale. It means that if you didn't like Ethereum at 2,000 and you didn't like Ethereum at 1,500, how much do you like it at 1,200? I wanted to go to 1,000. Right? I would like it a lot better, but I know that this is a very, very good opportunity. Look, the RSI, stochastic RSI on the daily is on oversold territory. That's when I like it. I like the RSI on the oversold to buy. You do not want to be buying at the top. And sadly, and I'm going to leave you with the same thing I started with, a lot of people start buying at the middle. So it says that we have 3 phases: accumulation, typically near bottoms or at bottoms, public participation, and distribution. The accumulation phase represents informed buying by the most astute investors. If the previous trend was down, then at this point, these astute investors recognize that the market has assimilated all the so-called bad news. The public participation phase is where most technical trend followers begin to participate. I want to lead, I don't want to follow. Occurs when prices begin to advance rapidly. When people see, I tell you, a lot of people are going to see it with money waiting to buy. So, and I'm not waiting, I'm just DCAing, dollar cost averaging. So, when a lot of people start seeing the prices advance rapidly and news start getting positive, news like the war ending, news like inflation going down, news like no more interest rate hikes, that's pretty late. That's pretty late. Millionaires are made during the worst times. Millionaires are minted during the worst times. This is it. All right. So it says, when economic news is better than ever, and when speculative volume and public participation increase. During this last phase, the same informed investors who began to accumulate, that's who I want to be, near the bear market bottom, they say near because nobody can time the bottom, when no one else wanted to buy, they begin to distribute. Okay? That's it. So who are you going to be? What are you going to do? Are you going to be one of those that buys when things are going up, up, up? Or are you going to be buying and investing when things are horribly bad and horribly negative? All right? Listen, I'm investing everything I can invest. Everything I can invest. All right? And we'll see what happens, right? I've already done pretty well for myself. I'm not trying to brag. I've already done pretty well. I'm a licensed architect, right? That already happens to invest in crypto. And I want you to make money too. I want you to be successful. I want you to have wealth and comment and follow me, right? And grow this channel together. All right. So that said, I'll let you go with that. Positive thinking. I'm not trying to be a perma bull. I'm just telling you right now, this accumulation time that they can be. Like, it is painful, but when you look at it in light of these news, in light of what big money players do, you want to be a big money player. You got to fake until you make it. And this is the time. You got $5, $5. I'm gonna put in whatever I have, right? I don't have a whole lot. I'll put in whatever I have into the market right now because I know I will get a return on my investment eventually. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.